Every time you skip your lunch break or stay late at the office, you're not building your future. You're buying your boss another week of vacation. The entire system is built on a single, brutal lie: that hard work leads to wealth. It doesn't. Your hard work is exactly what allows the people at the top to stop working altogether. They do not just want your labor, they absolutely depend on it. Because if you stop running on the wheel, their luxury lifestyle collapses overnight.
First rule of leadership: everything is your fault.
You think you are climbing a ladder, but you are actually just carrying them on your back. Let that sink in for a second. Look at your last paycheck. That money is not a reward for your dedication or your hard work. It is a carefully calibrated maintenance fee. The system pays you just enough to keep you alive, keep you comfortable enough not to riot, and keep you absolutely terrified of losing it all. If they actually paid you a fraction of what your labor is worth, you would eventually save enough money to buy your freedom and leave. And your permanent presence is the one thing the system desperately relies on to survive. This trap was not built by accident. It took years of careful psychological programming to get you here, and it started the exact moment you sat down at your very first desk in elementary school. Think about it. You were conditioned to follow a strict schedule, to ask for permission just to use the bathroom, and to obey authority without ever questioning the rules. They never taught you how money actually works. They never taught you how to build real wealth, how to leverage debt, or how to create assets. Why? Because the corporate machine does not need future competitors. It needs compliant, predictable workers. It needs people who have been brainwashed to crave the illusion of safety over the reality of freedom. You were trained for over a decade to believe that landing a secure job with a steady paycheck is the ultimate finish line of a successful life. But they lied to you. That steady paycheck is not a reward. It is the exact mechanism designed to keep you running on a hamster wheel forever. You are currently trading the best hours of your prime years for pieces of paper that are intentionally designed to lose their purchasing power every single year. Meanwhile, the people at the top of the pyramid are using your cheap labor to buy real assets, land, and most importantly, time. Your time. But here is the good news. Once you finally see the strings controlling you, they lose their power. In this video, I am going to expose the exact blueprint the elite uses to seamlessly transfer your life energy into their free time. I will show you why your exhaustion is their greatest asset and the exact strategy you must use to stop funding their freedom and start buying back your own. Pay close attention because once you see who you are really working for, you will never look at your job the same way again. Most people believe their employer is simply buying 8 hours of their day. That is the first major lie. They are not just buying your time, they are actively extracting your life energy. By the time you commute back home, navigate through endless traffic, and finally walk through your front door, you are not just out of time, you are completely depleted. And this is not an accident. It is a calculated feature of the system. If you arrive home exhausted, you do not have the mental bandwidth to start a side business, learn a highly profitable skill, or plan your escape. You only have enough energy left to consume cheap entertainment, go to sleep, and reset for the next shift. They keep you tired on purpose because a tired mind does not plot a revolution, it just begs for the weekend. But what happens when you decide to play their game and work harder? They sell you the ultimate corporate trap, the promotion. When they give you a promotion, they are not rewarding you. They are simply offloading their own stress onto your shoulders for a fraction of the cost. You get a shiny new title and a massive increase in your workload just so the executives above you can afford to play golf on a Tuesday afternoon. They delegate the grind and they keep the profit. And while you are distracted, fighting your coworkers for that tiny annual raise, a silent thief is actively emptying your pockets. It is called inflation. The system tells you that a 3% raise is a massive victory. But when the cost of housing, groceries, and healthcare skyrockets by 10, 15, or 20%, that raise is actually a brutal pay cut. Your cost of living takes the elevator, while your salary takes the stairs. This means that every single year you stay in that job, you are mathematically getting poorer, even if you are working harder than ever before. It is like running on a treadmill that speeds up exactly when your legs start to give out. You are not building a secure future. You are quietly funding your own financial collapse, one paycheck at a time. Let's talk about how they keep you obedient without you even realizing it. It is a process of deep psychological domestication. Think about how a modern corporation rewards you for your loyalty. When a company makes a record-breaking profit because of your hard work, do they share that wealth with you? No. Instead, they give you a pizza party. They give you a casual Friday. They give you a fancy new job title with the word senior or manager attached to it, but with absolutely no real increase in your bank account. These are infant rewards. They treat you like a child because they want you to think like one. They want you to be incredibly grateful for tiny crumbs while they sit in the boardroom and eat the entire cake. They give you a gold star, and you go back to your desk smiling. But cheap rewards are only half of their strategy. The other half is fear. Fear is the invisible handcuff that keeps you permanently tied to your chair. Why do you tolerate a toxic boss? Why do you accept working unpaid overtime? Because you are terrified. You are terrified of losing your health insurance. You are terrified of missing your rent or mortgage payment. You are terrified of the social shame of being unemployed. The system is intentionally designed to keep you living paycheck to paycheck because a worker who has zero savings is a worker who cannot say no. Your financial insecurity is not a bug in the system, it is their greatest asset. If you are just one medical emergency or one missed paycheck away from total bankruptcy, you will never dare to rebel. You will just put your head down, stay quiet, and keep typing. And when the stress of this invisible prison becomes too much to handle, they have a solution for that too. Have you ever wondered why entertainment is so incredibly cheap and easily accessible today? Why you can stream thousands of movies, scroll through endless short videos, and play hyper-realistic video games for almost nothing? It is not because they want you to be happy. It is because they desperately need you to be numb. Cheap entertainment is the modern anesthetic. After an exhausting day of building someone else's dream, you do not have the mental energy to build your own. So, you collapse on your couch, turn on a screen, and let the digital noise drown out the quiet, painful realization that you are wasting your life. They give you cheap dopamine to make you forget that you have zero control over your actual reality. You are trading your real-world freedom for a digital escape, and as long as you keep staring at that glowing screen, you will never look up and see the bars of the cage that surrounds you. Now that you see the cage, how do you actually get out? The first step is not to walk into your boss's office and quit your job tomorrow. That is financial suicide, and it plays right back into their hands by triggering your panic. The real exit strategy begins with a fundamental shift in your identity. Starting tomorrow morning, you must stop viewing yourself as a loyal employee. You are not an employee. You are a one-person business. You are a private contractor, and your current employer is simply your only client. And right now, they are a terrible client who demands too much of your energy and pays you far too little. When you shift this mindset, the emotional manipulation stops working. You stop seeking validation from a manager who does not care about you. You stop caring about the corporate pizza parties and the fake prestige. You begin to treat your job as a purely transactional exchange, your required labor for their capital. Nothing more, nothing less. To build your escape route, you need two things: capital and energy. And right now, your job is actively draining both. You must execute a strategic reallocation of your resources. Society likes to call it quiet quitting, but wealthy investors call it optimizing return on investment. If they pay you for average effort, do not give them 110%. Giving extra effort to a corporate machine does not result in massive wealth. It only results in them handing you the work of the person they fired last week. Give them exactly what is legally and professionally required to not get fired, and ruthlessly take back that remaining 30% of your life force. Use that reclaimed energy to build your actual future. Spend your evenings and your weekends learning a high-income skill, building a digital asset, or creating a business system that scales outside of your physical labor. The system relies on you being too exhausted to build a parachute. You have to prove them wrong. They designed a world where your debt keeps you compliant, your exhaustion keeps you quiet, and your salary keeps you trapped. But the ultimate secret of the elite is this: the door to the cage was never actually locked. They just convinced you it was safer to stay inside. You have been funding your own captivity for years. The moment you decide to redirect your energy toward your own freedom, those invisible chains disappear. The corporate machine only works if you blindly agree to play the game. It is time to stop playing their game and start building your own.